And we're going to start seated in Sukhasana. So in Yin, it's shoelace, but it's a pretty loose version of a shoelace. And I'm sitting on my blanket just for fun, not for any reason except for more comfort. But I am also going to take the bolster and put the bolster underneath my pelvis. So if you have another blanket that you want to put under you or something to sit upright and be able to plug in through the center of the pelvis, tipping the pubic bone forward slightly as you root down through your two sit bones. Sitting up nice and tall to begin. And then place your hands face down on your legs. Close your eyes. Relax the eyebrows and the musculature of your face. Taking a few moments here, seated upright, to come into your body. Start to take longer exhales. Letting the inhales follow. And then we're going to take this forward. So you can keep your eyes closed if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, you can blink them open and just look down softly into the floor in front of you. Tip the pubic bone forward even more. You can place your hands on the ground and then turning this into a folded shoelace into the hip stretch. So you can come onto your elbows. You can take blocks and put them under your head or your elbows and support your head with your hands like this. So with the legs crossed at the shins, it might not be the deepest shoelace that you've done, like where the knees are stacked, but it's a nice, easy place to begin cold. So support your head with something, whether it's 1 block, 2 blocks, or your own hands supported by the floor block. Close your eyes again if that's all right with you, and focus once more on the lengthening of the breath out. Paying particular attention to the pause in your breath that happens naturally before you take the next inhale or the next exhale. It might be very short-lived, and it shouldn't be forced, but rather just see that little lilt in time on a full breath in before your body naturally expresses the exhale out. And that natural pause on empty before you take in the next breath. Another minute here. If your head feels heavy on whatever it's resting on, you might want to lower it down a notch and go further closer to the floor. Just an option, not a requirement, of course. Last 3 breaths. After the next exhale, gently blink the eyes open, look forward, and call your hands back to lean yourself upright. And then just take a moment sitting nice and tall, hands down on your thighs, eyes closed, grounding yourself again. Blink the eyes open. And then you're going to do a pretty lazy version of a half bind. So just take your right hand and put it on your low back. From the behind, I just have my palm like this facing down rather than an internal rotation, which is a little bit more effort. So start there, just doing this. You can even, if you have a pocket, stick your hand in your pocket or just down the back of your pants so it feels kind of comfortable there. And then lay your left hand on your left knee. Good. And then turn your head to the left. Let your left ear drop to your left shoulder, away from the half bound arm. Yeah. You can close the eyes, you can open and close your jaw. Yep, you might bring a little movement to it. Like you can turn your head softly side to side or even draw circles, small circles with your nose and chin. Mm-hmm. You can do it like that, Josh. Josh is moving his head all the way around, or try just letting your head fall to the left, keeping it to the left, and moving the head in circles that way. Like it stays heavy to the left, so you're still stretching just the right side of the neck. Exactly. Another couple of breaths. And then let the head be still. Lift it back up, right. Bring your right hand to your right knee and switch your shins. So you can lean back, switch the opposite shin to be in front and resettle to sit up tall. Take your left hand, find that half bind, just either putting it down the ridge of the pants or just holding your sacrum there. And then we'll go to the right shoulder. So drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Close the eyes, just feel the heaviness of the head here, stretch the side of the neck. Maybe some small movement starts to creep in, opening and closing the jaw. And then you can circle. You might feel more or less sensation on this side. You might hear more sensation going on in your head. And then let your head come back into stillness. Lift it upright. Hands down to your thighs. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lean forward and come into the second forward fold. Now that your other shin is in front, you will be targeting your opposite hip. So find your first point of sensation in your pelvis and your hips. Make sure that you're seated upright on your pillow or cushion enough that you can tip forward. And then find a place for your head to be held, building the floor up to you with whatever you have. As a point of focus, you're lengthening out the exhales, slowing down the breath, and you're paying close attention to the moments of pause before the in and out breath. Another minute here if you want to lower your head down. Last 3 breaths. On the next exhale, blink the eyes open. Use your arms to lift yourself upright. Get nice and tall for a moment with the eyes closed. And then blink the eyes open and turn sideways on your mat like I am so that you can come into a straddle. So I'm just going to scooch back. Bring your feet wide, let your heels be on the mat. I'm going to grab another blanket for my pelvis because I want the bolster in front of me. So gather anything that you would like to sit on and then anything you would like to put in front of you as you forward fold. So I'm going to sit on the edge of a folded blanket. So again, the pelvis tilts forward, sitting me upright, allowing me to fold forward through a long spine. But then I have this bolster for when we fold in. Good. And we're going to go to the sides first before we go through the center, starting with the right side. If you do have a bolster, you can put it on your right leg, just right on top of it. If you have anything else, just put it inside of the right leg for your arm. Yep, Aaron's got it. And then whatever you're using, keep it there. Turn to the left, turn away from your right leg. And then reach your right arm towards your right foot, either grabbing the foot or putting your elbow down on the knee, which is on the bolster, which is right above my knee, and hold your head. If you have a block or something in between your legs, you can do the same thing with the block under your elbow. And then finally, the left arm can do that sort of lazy half bind. You can tuck it in your pants or in your pocket, or just hold your hip there. Yeah. And then you're held. Relax the toes and the ankles. Feeling this in your inner legs, but maybe mostly in your left side. I shouldn't say mostly. I'm feeling it mostly on my left side today. So that might be the case for you, but you might feel it mostly in your legs. And for a visual to help focus you, you can imagine your left lung filling up like a balloon with air on the inhale. And then getting a little smaller, deflating on the exhale. Almost like a jellyfish swimming in the sea. About 1 more minute here. If your mind has wandered, committing into the breath again, following the inflation and deflation of the left side body. Last 3 breaths. Blinking the eyes open. Return your left hand to the floor just in front of your pelvis. And then use your right hand to lift yourself up, lift your head up as you push your left hand down. Good. And then arms down by your sides, seated nice and tall just for a second. And we're going to go right into the other side. So switch your props to your left leg. Turn your torso to look at your right leg. And then reach your left hand towards your left foot, putting your arm or your elbow on whatever you're going to use, whether it's the bolster on top of the leg or anything inside of the leg. You can hold your head with your hand like this. Your head might even go a little lower, and you can hold your own ear on your own bicep, something like that. And then the right arm half binds and tucks in behind you. And see if you can, I don't want this to be too effortful for you all, but see if you can turn a little bit more to look upright, Josh, so that you can keep this effort slightly of a twist to the right, which will give you more of your right side body. Yeah. Even if you do that for like the first minute and then you notice yourself kind of coming down a little bit, that's okay. Yin has some semblance of effort. It's more than restorative yoga. You are taxing the muscles and the fascia. So a little effort is okay. It's not like we can fall asleep in any of these poses. There's stuff happening. But then you let go of where you don't want the effort, like in your toes and in your ankles and in your face. Breathing into your right side body, following the inflation and deflation of your right lung. Really letting the head be heavy here so that for Aaron's request, you can really feel the stretch all the way up the right side through the right side of your neck. And more breaths. Last three. And slowly return your right hand to the floor in front of you and use both hands. So use the right hand pushing down and the left hand to lift your head up. And then arms beside you, sit up tall for a second. And then I changed my mind. Instead of folding forward with straight legs, I think the legs have been like this for quite some time. So lean back and let's do feet together, knees apart. That's why I do these poses with you, so that I can feel if it's been a while. So butterfly your legs, feet together, knees apart. Hold on to the ankles, pull the ankles in towards you, and then we'll fold in this symmetrical way forward. And it's similar to the first two forward folds we did with the legs crossed. You can come down to your elbows. You can use blocks underneath your elbows and hold your head, or you can put your head on a block. Mm-hmm. Terry, we just did the same thing. We just grabbed the bolster at the same time. Another minute. 10 breaths. Last 3. After your next exhale, blink your eyes open. Look out in front of you and make your way upright. Hold on to the ankles, sit nice and tall. And then take away the props, clear your space, close your knees, plant your feet down, and just hug your shins, sitting up nice and tall. So you feel this compression of the hip flexor, plugging through the pelvic floor as you sit up tall, through the spine. And then however you can get there, you're going to find down dog. And you can take props with you for down dog. I'm going to take blocks for my hands and for my head. So if you have a third block, you can do that. You can also use nothing and do a normal down dog. I'm just grabbing my third block. And whenever you're ready, we won't be here terribly long, but make your way into a downward facing dog. Keeping a good bend of the knees. If you have socks on like I do for yin, you might want to take them off for this pose so the feet don't slip. Good tilt of the pelvis. lungs towards your thighs, thighs to the back wall. A block is nice under your head and yin to support the nervous system and to slow down the breathing. So it could be on any height. Whether your hands are on the floor or blocks, try to press down through the inner palms, through the thumb bound side. And then wrap the outer arms in so that you're still doing all the functions of a good dog that you would do in any other class. Just another minute here. Last 3 breaths. So nice. Child's pose. Slowly lower your knees down wide, bringing your feet closer together. And then you already have potentially some props out in front of you that you can use for child's pose, or you can grab them now. So you can put something under your head and chest, you can put something under armpits or hands. Make sure that you have enough room for your belly in between your legs. And if you're choosing a pose, a place where your head is turned to one side, I'll let you know when to switch. Otherwise, you can support your head face down. about halfway through, so if your head is turned to one side, you can turn it to the other. Settling back into stillness if you move. One more minute. Last 3 breaths. Following the next exhale, you're going to press down through the hands and make your way to tabletop slowly. Lifting up onto all fours, moving anything that was under your head and chest off to the side. And then just a couple of cat-cows on the inhale, tip the pubis forward, drop the belly, lift the chest. On the exhale, tuck your toes to open up the feet that were just pointed as you round the spine. Again, inhale, point the toes, initiating movement from the pelvis until the head lifts. Exhale, tuck the toes, initiate from the pelvis again until the head drops. And one more time, inhaling as you point the toes, arch up. Exhaling as you tuck the toes and dome the back. Good. Back to neutral. Downward dog just for a few seconds. So you could put your hands on the floor or blocks if they're just right there for you, just to get lifted again. And then walk your feet and hands closer to each other. And we're going to find a forward bend. Or in Yin, it's called dangling. So it's a Uttanasana forward fold. So your feet are going to be at least hips distance. You might even bring them a little bit further than hips distance, not wide into a straddle, but wide enough for your belly to hang in between your legs or just right on top. And then I like to take blocks, a few blocks for the head. So I'm just going to turn to the front to show you. I'm going to take 2 blocks, one on top of the other for my head, so that the arms can just dangle to the floor. The knees are micro bent, and I can be in this forward fold without needing to do anything with my head, neck, or shoulders. If you have a wall space nearby, it also can be nice to back your seat up to the wall, and so you have the support of your butt at the wall. Yeah, Josh, you can go there and do this same thing with your head on the blocks. Nice, Terry. Terry's got a strap that she's putting around her low back and her thighs. And wherever you are, just keep telling yourself little by little, bring the weight forward, because we'll have the tendency to lean back into the heels. It'll just happen with time. So remind yourself every time you maybe remember you're here. Bring the weight forward into the balls of the feet so that you can bend the knees and stick your seat up and drop your head down. And the arms can dangle like I have them, or Erin's got her elbows held, and then she has her head on her crossed forearms, which is a really nice option. Nice, Terry. This is decompressing through your whole spine, as well as giving a tremendous stretch to your hamstrings, your calves, your Achilles tendon, the whole back body from head to heels. It can be very effort. You can feel a lot of sensation here. So slow down the breathing. We've just got 1 more minute. Maybe Ujjayi Pranayama to soothe yourself with the sound of your own breath. Inhaling in and out of the nose, but with the constriction at the back of your throat. Last 3 breaths. And then slowly to come out of it, you're going to bring your hands to the floor or your blocks, find a half lift, look forward. And then turn your toes out, bend the knees to sit into a squat. So I'm going to definitely sit on something in your squat. I'm going to take a block and put it underneath the pelvis. Heels on the floor, toes turning out. sitting up on something so that we can do some pranayama here and you don't have to focus on the shape. Yeah, close the eyes. I have my hands just resting on the legs. You can do whatever feels comfortable. Maybe it's more like this. Maybe it's hands into a prayer. Eyelids heavy closed. Sitting up tall by plugging in through the pelvis, from the base of the pelvis up the spine, up the crown of the head. And then flip the left palm to face up. It can be kind of like this, closer to you with the elbow super bent, or it can be reached out like that. But if that locks out your elbow, I would just slide the elbow a little bit so that your left arm is just there. And we're going to do Nadi Shodhana. We're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So keeping the eyes closed, I'll talk you through it. Take your right hand, rest your elbow on your knee, and bring peace fingers to your forehead. Your head might have to turn to the right a little bit for this in order to make contact with both the elbow and the head, and that's okay. So you kind of look down. And then let your right thumb hover somewhere above your right nostril. And let your right ring and pinky fingers together hover above your left nostril. Take an inhale through both sides. Open your mouth and exhale completely. On empty, seal your right nostril with your thumb and then inhale through your left side for 4, 3, 2, 1. Seal off your left side. Hold your breath. 3, 2, 1. Open your right nostril and exhale out of the right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 3, 2, 1. Seal it off. 3, 2, 1. Open through the left, exhaling. 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 3, 2, 1. Seal it. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 3, 2, 1. Seal and hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 3, 2, 1. And continue on your own. Take one more round on your own so that the next time you exhale out of your left side nostril, you can return both arms to your sides or wherever they were to start. and your head back into a neutral position. Gently blinking your eyes open. And then we're going to come onto the back. So take your time and make your way onto your mat, lying down, coming off of whatever you were seated on. I'm going to take bolster under the knees. Just set yourself up for Shavasana comfortably and supported with whatever props you would like. You can put anything you want under your knees, or you can use the bolster, Erin, across the spine if you want to feel that nice support of your back. You can use anything you would like under your head, like a pillow. Make yourself warm and comfortable. And come to lie down. And then as you settle back into stillness, let the arms be comfortably laid beside you or above your head, taking up space, or on your body, grounding you. And without sealing off any nostril, just floating here on your mat, imagine that the breath comes in through one side and out the other, and then switching to be in through the second side and out through the first, just as a point of focus for the brain. As you lie, breathing in and breathing out. Slowly start to deepen your breath again. In and out of both nostrils without worrying about focus. Blink your eyes open. You can take a stretch, lifting your arms above the head, pointing the toes forward. And then bend the knees, plant your feet. Take a twist to the right for a second. Let the knees go left. Twist to the right. And then twist to the left. Knees going to the right. And then bring your knees back to the left and roll onto your left side in fetal position. Taking a second there, thanking yourself for practicing. And then using your right palm to bring yourself upright. Bring your hands together at the center of your chest, bowing down into this practice, whatever it holds for you. Thank you.